everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Football Tailgaters podcast. We have Andy, who is our unbiased NFL fan. My name is Yams, and I am your New York Jets fan. Today, we'll be talking about Pollard signing, Derrick Carr signed with the Saints, and what's the status with Aaron Rodgers. Let's get started as we have a lot of football to dive into today. Our first topic today will be Derrick Carr signing with the Saints. What do you think?
I was pretty shocked that he actually chose the Saints. I thought he was going to be taking a little bit more time for himself to look into all of his options, but the Saints, I guess they made an offer here that he couldn't refuse. I guess they went all Godfather on him. And the Jets, too slow. You snooze. How do you say that thing? How is that?
Right. Yeah. You snooze, you lose,
you
snooze, you lose, and that's kind of where the Jets are at right now. I feel that Derek Carr used the Jets to maybe help him leverage his deal with the Saints. That was the first team that he didn't meet. I predicted earlier in the podcast that I think that's where he was going to land. It makes sense. AFC, NFC is much easier. Division's much easier. You don't want to go against Belichick twice a year, plus Josh Allen twice a year. So
not only that, what about the weather too? Like, you're not going to be in the cold weather in New Jersey. You're going to be in New Orleans in a closed dome, and you have good weapons too. I know the New York Jets have good weapons, but also the New Orleans Saints has good weapons. Kamara's still there. I mean, pending suspension, we don't know about that, but they have Chris Olave. Probably Michael Thomas is going to be leaving. But their defense is pretty good. So, I mean, it looks like he's going to be doing pretty well in the Saints so far.
Absolutely, because if you look at the division, we have Buccaneers. Tom Brady's gone. We don't know where Panthers is with their quarterback search, if they're going to draft one. Also, you have Falcons.
Well, I guess that goes into our second question now, I believe.
Well, you know what? Since we're getting into that.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
For sure.
So, I guess since we're on the subject now, the next question is, are the Saints the best team in the AFC South now with this Derek Carr signing?
I mean, like you were saying, Tom Brady's gone from the Buccaneers. The Panthers are still looking to, I don't know if they're going to be sticking with Sam Darnold, but he doesn't play the whole season, so they might get a quarterback themselves. The Atlanta Falcons, they actually got rid of Mariota, so is it going to be Ritter as their quarterback? We don't know. They're probably going to draft a quarterback. So as of now, the New Orleans Saints, they're the most established team in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't see any other threat in that team or in that division. Like you said, the only one that might be a threat is the Panthers, but it depends on the quarterback situation. Many of you know that I'm a Sam Darnold fan, and I don't think I would sell him short at all. I think if he is the quarterback for the Panthers, it will give the Saints, run for their money. I think that would be the only team that I can see here maybe causing the problem, because Buccaneers, they're going with Kyle Trask, and I'm sorry, Trask. My bad. My apologies. And Falcons, like you said, we don't know what's the situation with that quarterback, and I just don't think highly of Todd Bowles as a head coach, being that he was with the Jets. He's not a good head coach.
Yeah, we've seen this. This is his second try at as a head coach, and it's just looks like it's like Josh McDaniels type of situation, that their second try is not doing so well as well.
Josh McDaniels?
Yeah, from the Raiders. He was the head coach for the Broncos.
True.
It didn't work out. And the Raiders, it seems like he's struggling too, just like Todd Bowles.
True. But you can't compare Josh McDaniels because he had Tom Brady as a quarterback, and Josh McDaniels had Derek Carr.
True. But, Todd Bowles, I guess he's struggling. If you're saying that Todd Bowles is struggling even more than Josh McDaniels because he had Tom Brady?
No. Josh McDaniels shouldn't have struggled the way he did because he actually had a team. Todd Bowles, the only team he had, or the only team member that was there to show up, was Tom Brady, because the whole team was falling apart.
What about Evans?
What about the O-line?
Yeah, the O-line, I'll give it to you, but
what
had
about
Evans.
Godwin? He was out.
Mm-hmm. If you put, I guess, in quarterback situation, the Buccaneers had the better quarterback. But in the Raiders, they had a tremendous pieces. They still do. So whichever quarterback's going to land there, which may be Garoppolo, that team is set to go. But again, head coaching affects the team way too much. So they might not even work out in the end for the Raiders. But with the Buccaneers, they still, like you were saying, it's Kyle Trask. So I don't know what they're going to even do as well. There's more teams needing quarterback than there is quarterbacks available.
Absolutely. And you said it right there. It's on the head coach. And the best head coaches in this division is Frank Wright. And who knows if Dennis Miller is even good. I mean, do you know? I don't.
Yeah, I have.
For the Saints? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
Right.
I really don't know either.
So, I mean,
But
it's the Panthers.
Yeah. But they didn't do so bad like last year. So maybe with this quarterback, I mean, it's a 50-50 shot, but it's still Derek Carr is a capable quarterback. Out of all of the quarterbacks available, discarding Aaron Rodgers because we don't know his situation, or Lamar Jackson because we don't know also what's going to happen there. Derek Carr was the best quarterback available compared to Tannehill, and I guess Geno Smith just got signed, so we take him off there. I don't know who else is available. Garoppolo, I still pick Derek Carr.
So I guess to sum up the summary of this topic, NFC South.
Yeah,
Is Saints the best? Is Saints the best?
I would say so, 100%. Right now, as of now, because we're getting into free agency, we don't know what's going to happen. But as of today, yes, the Saints are the best team in that division as of now.
I would agree as of now, as of today. But depending on what happens and the moves that they make at the Panthers, I wouldn't sell them short. They also have a good defense, and they have Jace Horn. And like I said, I'm not against Sam Darnold. If he plays a full season, I think it could be a pretty interesting for them.
Well, you just said it right there. Yeah. If he plays the whole season, which it's not going to happen. I'll tell you that.
Well, we'll leave it as that. So, I think it's not going to be so easy that the Saints are going to win this division. I think the Panthers are going to give them a run for their money.
Yeah, for a few weeks.
All right, so in other news, Derrick Henry is being shopped by the Titans, so it looks like he's in the trading block. Where do you think he's going to land, Andy?
Derrick Henry, since he's in the trading block, I would think that he's going to go to the Buffalo Bills. That team just collects running backs, and they're just trying to find their diamond in the rough. But I guess here is just a diamond that we all know. So Derek Carr would be a perfect fit for the Buffalo Bills. But let's see if they can also keep Stephon Diggs, because there's some problems there as well.
Yeah, I would be shocked if the Buffalo GM, Brandon Beane, hasn't already picked up the phone to inquire about Henry. They do need a running back. They have so many that just don't work out, and this one should work out. They were one of the ones that did reach out to Christian McCaffrey when he was on the block for trading. So, yeah, I definitely do see Buffalo Bills being one. They definitely need one. This will help them seal the deal to achieve their Super Bowl dreams.
Yeah, and we don't know how many years does Derrick Henry have, so since the Buffalo Bills are a team that are just really close to getting to that championship, might as well just go for it.
Yeah, definitely. I would not let history repeat itself again, over and over again, that you are showcasing that you need a running back, and the ones that you're getting are not working out. And, especially in the last game that we saw them play against Cincinnati, they got eliminated.
Right.
You can tell that that's what they were missing.
Yeah, they keep putting the game on Josh Allen's shoulders, and he needs help.
Yeah.
He's a really good quarterback, but he needs help. So get him this running back, and that'll push you into that next level.
Absolutely, yeah. Pairing him with Josh Allen with an elite running back like Derrick Henry would take that offense to the next level, 100%. Another team I would want to float around there and is the Detroit Lions. They might be, I can see them maybe consider...
I think you're just better because Swift just destroyed your fantasy. But Swift is still their guy. I see by your silence. I'm a little correct there.
No, I'm just thinking about how they use Jamal Williams so much.
Well, because Swift was injured, and Jamal Williams, he took the reins and he scored a lot of points. So I don't think they need to really throw in a lot of money to get them to that next level, because they still need some help on the defense, major help on the defensive side. So I would focus more on the defensive side. You on the running backs, you're still okay with Jamal Williams and Swift. So no, I would just disagree with you there.
Well, I wouldn't rule them out. Honestly, I think they will be one of them that can go after Derrick Henry. If not, then maybe Baltimore.
No, you know what's another team that can get him? Because again, Baltimore, they have Dobbs as well, and they actually drafted him a few years ago, and I think they still want to try to make that thing work. But you know what team can that need help, and I believe they're going to go all in on offense, is Sean McVay's team with the LA Rams. The LA Rams are moving away from a lot of their defensive players, and also all of these big contract names that they had. Like, for example, Robinson, they told him that you can actually look for another team if you find a suitor that wants to trade for you. And they're just going to be focusing on the offensive weapons to help Matthew Stafford. So I think all the running backs there are not that great, Akers and Henderson. I think Sony Michel was there too as well, because they were trying to make things happen. But The LA Rams is another team that can actually go for Derrick Henry.
Yeah, that's a good one. What about the Giants?
No, they got Saquon.
But they can't keep both Daniel Jones and Saquon.
Yeah, I would keep Saquon Barkley before Daniel Jones without question. There's no doubt in my mind. You have a star running back there. So franchise tag Saquon if you can't work out a deal with him. And move on from Daniel Jones. Honestly, I don't know what other team is going to be like, here, come over here and we'll pay you as much as you want. I think he wants $45 million. Like, no, that's not going to happen.
So this might be a topic for another time, but could it be the reason why Tennessee is deciding to move on from Derrick Henry is they have the 11th pick of the draft? Could it be possible that they might get Bijan, is that his name, Bijan Johnson?
Robinson.
I
don't think so because they're moving away from Tannehill, if I'm not mistaken, and they need a quarterback. So I believe they're going to be getting a quarterback. They're in rebuild mode.
But they drafted a quarterback in Malik Willis.
Yeah, I don't think that's their guy. They actually, I mean, he did play okay, but he didn't show like monster characteristics that you know right away that that's the guy. He didn't show it just like Justin Herbert that we all know like, whoa, this guy is your guy. Whoever is saying that Malik Willis is their guy, no, you need a quarterback and they need to draft one this season.
So you think at the 11th pick for Tennessee, they're going to pick up a quarterback?
I believe so. I mean, it really depends on what quarterbacks are going to be available. But I would completely look if it's not either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, Trask. I know Richardson. Not Trask, I'm sorry. Richardson did a pretty good combine, and I know his name has been increasing there. Also, Levis, that's 4 quarterbacks. You don't ever know if one of them just drops. That's the NFL draft, or trade up and get one of those guys.
I'll be really interested in who ends up picking up Robinson. How high is he going to go? Because he is the number 1 running back to be taken, obviously. But being that they are going to move on, I don't know. I wouldn't rule it out. They do get him. Okay, so let's move on to a quarterback that we're still keeping us in the dark, apparently. So, is this a Aaron Rodgers New York Jets? Is it Aaron Rodgers or bust for the New York Jets?
I would think so. New York Jets actually just did a strategy that I'm not too comfortable with, and they just let Derek Carr go. Basically, they told them, you know what, we like you a lot. We invited you here. We had dinner with you. We do like you, but we want to see what Aaron Rodgers is going to do because they see Aaron Rodgers as the golden ticket. The problem with Aaron Rodgers is that he is just all over the place. Either he's going to stay with Green Bay or he's going to leave. He's going to let us know. Like, everybody's just waiting on him, and that's really frustrating. As an NFL fan, I don't know if I would have done that decision. You have to move on. You can't just make everything and just wait for Aaron Rodgers to decide.
I honestly thought it was going to be Derek Carr that was going to be the next quarterback for the New York Jets, and I'm pretty surprised that didn't happen. So if this didn't happen for the Jets, I'm thinking, I don't know what's going on, but I'm thinking shaping that the Packers are going to make a deal with the Jets, and it's a boom or bust for Rodgers to go to the Jets. It doesn't make sense to let go of someone like Derek Carr, go to the Saints. So for me, I feel like that route is coming so that Rodgers is the next quarterback for the Jets, unless they have some kind of secret plan up their sleeve that, boom, we just, it's Jimmy Garoppolo just out of nowhere.
But wouldn't you, we don't know what's going through the Jets, offices or what they're thinking about doing. It might be something explosive like you're saying, but as of right now, I do have respect for what the GM for the Jets has done. He has been drafting pretty well, and he's been getting good pieces. I believe he failed in the quarterback with Zach Wilson, but he's trying to fix that. I believe he has a ready team to get to that next level into the playoffs. So they need a veteran, and I just don't like how it just happened that they are just waiting for Aaron Rodgers. If I'm the Green Bay Packers, I actually can put more price for Aaron Rodgers because Derek Carr is not available. So there's, like I said, there's more opportunities for quarterbacks, more vacancies for quarterbacks, and there's not that many quarterbacks available. So that means that the demand for that particular quarterback is went higher. So his price got actually increased. I don't like the situation for the Jets at all.
Me neither. And what makes me nervous is they don't get Aaron Rodgers. we end up with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's known that Jimmy Garoppolo cannot stay healthy. And then I'm back to
Zach Wilson.
2 to 3, 4 games, who knows for how long, while Jimmy Garoppolo's injured, that I have to deal with Wilson or Mike White, depending, if they sign Mike White again.
Right.
So I'm now back to the same point where I was, just again dealing with the Mike White and Wilson situation. I'm back at that circus, and I don't want that.
No, I'm with you. It is. This question is exactly how it is. It's Aaron Rodgers or bust for the New York Jets.
It is, and it seems that way. If to let Derrick Carr walk like that, it seems that way.
Yeah, and I don't blame Derrick Carr. I would actually be a little annoyed. Like, you invite me here for like dinner, and you talk great about me, and that you feel like I'm a Hall of Famer, I believe they said, and then you let this Hall of Famer like leave. Like, if I'm a Hall of Famer, that means I'm going to bring you like good stats and maybe even a championship. So you're telling me that I'm just going to see what this other guy does for me?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to move on with my life.
Exactly. This is why it kind of tells me that the Jets kind of know what's going on and what Aaron Rodgers is leaning towards too, because they wouldn't have let Derek Carr walk. I think the agent spoke, they hashed it out and said, you know what, we're just waiting on Aaron Rodgers. We're gonna let Derek Carr walk. So
if that's the case, this is a very big, huge secret, because I'm surprised it hasn't leaked. If it's something this big.
Well, Aaron Rodgers doesn't like things to get, talked. That's on his behalf. So yeah, I'm sure.
Maybe that's what he was doing when he was in isolation or something, just doing secret moves and
maybe
just quiet.
Maybe. So we'll see. It has to come this week. That news, the next quarterback for the New York Jets has to happen this week.
Well, Aaron Rodgers, didn't you say that's going to be very soon?
He did say that, yeah.
So, yeah, maybe this week.
It has to happen this week. Derek Carr's the first domino to fall, and slowly but surely it's going to happen. All right, so let's go ahead and shift our, NFL to the XFL. So there's a report out there. The XFL ratings are slightly dipping. What do you think, Andy?
Well, yeah, I'm not surprised that they're slipping at the first weekend of the XFL. Well, yeah, we all tuned in. A lot of us football fans, we tuned in to see how it is, and it is pretty interesting. But, I mean, do we really want to continue seeing AJ McCarron or Danucci play? Like, we need bigger names into the sport. We need to be more excited about these big time plays, or sometimes they do have them, but we just need more excitement with these players that we don't know. And I mean, it's close to the NBA playoffs, so that might also be affecting the situation, and also March Madness as well. So I just think that they just need a little bit of more of a presence there for the NFL, for the XFL players. I
definitely do think that the NBA coming near the playoffs and also March Madness could be affecting the ratings. But honestly, the only teams worth watching is the St. Louis, Houston, Arlington, and San Antonio. Those are the only ones that look okay and capable to carry an offense. The other teams just look poorly coached and very hard to watch, as they struggle to execute like just basic plays. So, I mean, I do enjoy the XFL. I like the rules that they input, the 4 and 15 and the 2 and 3 from the 2 and 3 and 1 point, whatever, right. I do like the rules. It makes it very exciting. The defense shows up, the offense lacks. I don't think it needs a name. I don't need the name. I just need them to execute plays and not to be boring.
Could it be a possibility that it's just a sense of timing, since there's so much going on right now that is not the NFL? Like I was saying, you have the March Madness happening. You have the NBA playoffs coming soon. You also have some UFC fights that we actually enjoyed watching as well. And maybe it's just, it's one of those things that's not a priority right now. They have to big, huge marketing on it for us to be interested in continuing to watch. Because like I said, we don't want to just lose our weekend and watching these players not like make miraculous plays and big time names.
Yeah, I don't know. I like sports, so I do see the marketing, but I'm already on like Sports Center. I'm already on ESPN. I'm already watching sports. So for me, those ads are going to come to me naturally, but someone who probably doesn't watch sports as much as me, I'm watching the NBA, they might not be, exposed to these type of ads. So yeah, they might need to up their marketing. Maybe they need to get on Facebook and push it out there more. I don't know. For me, I'm being marketed too, so.
Here's a thought. Since sports betting is increasing, like year after year, it's just increasing more and more. They need to work with these big time, like betting companies like MGM or Caesars, and put enticing bets that it gives a little bit more percentage for the bettor to actually win. And just promote those things, and that will make more people talk about it and more people to watch these games. Because if you do those types of things, I would think that would actually help the sport a lot to be watched more.
Or could it just be that it's just going to fail? I'm trying to compare it to like you open a business at the same location, and let's say they sell coffee. That place closes down, and then another person says, you know what, I can do it. I'm gonna open the same thing in that same location. It's gonna be coffee, and they don't do it. They close out, and then some other person says, you know what, I can make it even better. I can make my product a little bit better, and I'm gonna sell coffee, but it's gonna be cooler this time, and it fails. Could it just be like, okay, this, it failed once, it failed twice. We shouldn't be surprised if it fails a third time. It already failed twice.
True, but let's just go with your coffee situation. If there's a new coffee shop that comes in and puts in more bells and whistles than just boring just coffee, and makes like extreme, really, really good coffees with all the bells and whistles, with the creams, and the new names and the matchas and everything, then you'll get more people to come and watch. And that's something that Vince McMahon wanted to do before he sold the company. He wanted to make it like wrestling style. He wanted to like put cameras in the locker rooms, follow the cheerleaders, put some nicknames on the players, just make it all gruesome and make it more extreme. That's why it's called the Extreme Football League before. So it just didn't work out, unfortunately. So there's some marketing that is missing from this. That we can't just say it's because if you just change the rules, and it doesn't make me like, oh, I'm super excited to just watch this football game, because football is still football.
Right.
Even if you change the rules a bit, you got to make it a little bit better for people to put on to watch these games. So for me, it's the betting wise. You did really good job with the rules, but you gotta just get more names out there. But I think there's some comments I want to say. I think it leads to the second question about the XFL that you're gonna ask.
Go ahead and take it over.
Well, there was a situation that happened with the XFL, and I think it also has to do a little bit of why the XFL ratings are dipping. So an XFL quarterback from the Orlando Guardians, I believe, he actually sold his team place to another team. And here's a situation that how much these players are getting paid. So during what I was reading, they get paid on like an average salary of about $60,000 for 3 months that they play, 3 or maybe 4 months that they play. And so if you're paying your employees that little, it means like you have like an overhead that is not too high compared to the NFL. So you're trying to make things work. But if that's the case, then you're not going to have such big names to come in to play for you. Maybe if you brought in, I mean, it could help. I'm just saying that maybe it doesn't help, but just big names that people know. Like Terrell Owens, I believe he would say yes if you pay him well. Johnny Manziel would come in and play as well. Some of these names that we all would like to watch, maybe I would like to tune in for these players. Also, even though he was a huge bust in the NFL, Jamarcus Russell, why don't we give him another shot? You know what I mean? So we need people that we know. That's why they're in movies, and the movie companies, they buy like people to go into the movies by getting big time actors and actresses, big names. And you can see this person, either it's Tom Cruise or Tom Hanks.
I completely disagree. This XFL for me is an opportunity for those who didn't get an opportunity in the NFL. Kind of like the USFL. And now that I think about the marketing, I saw more marketing on the USFL than I am seeing XFL. Now that I'm thinking about it, USFL had a lot of marketing. I would always remember the ads coming up, though I never watched it. I never watched the USL.
But when do they come up? When did they come up? After an NFL game that it's coming, no? This season?
Yeah, in the summer, I think.
In the summer?
Yeah.
No. I would remember seeing those ads when we would still be watching the NFL games, either it's playoffs.
Right.
And then during the playoffs, there's a commercial saying, hey, football's not over.
Exactly.
We still have the USFL coming.
So perhaps back to the previous argument, yeah, there's not enough marketing on the XFL. We used to see it constantly for the USFL during the NFL. But back to this person that sold the plays, or I don't know if he sold it. I don't know what he did.
Yeah.
He sold him?
Yeah, he sold them, and then he got fired on a Friday, and then he got reinstated on that same day.
They got reinstated because they need to conduct their own research on
investigation.
Happened, right?
But that's the report so far.
That's the report so far. So $60,000 for 8 weeks, whatever they play.
Let's say 12 weeks.
12 weeks, 15 weeks, 16 weeks, whatever. That's still good.
I mean, yeah,
Plus,
for an average person, yeah.
For an average person, plus they get their housing paid, they get the lunch paid, dinner. All of that is paid for. So that's still a decent price, if you ask me, for someone who's trying to make their name. Kind of what happened with PJ Walker.
No, for these players that are getting paid, I don't mind them getting paid $60,000. But what I'm saying is that to help and promote it, you want people to watch it. So it's not like, okay, am I excited of just seeing some name, nobody that I don't know that's a running back or a wide receiver, just sit down and just watch? How am I going to become a fan?
I guess it depends on what route they want to take. If they want to just bring people to watch it and they want to bring old players, Terrell Owens, who's not going to have a shot at the NFL again.
No, he's not, right?
So if that's the way you want to approach it, but the way they're trying to approach it is they're trying to give these guys opportunities so they do have a chance at the NFL that the NFL didn't give them a chance. So this is the way I see it. Kind of the USFL. They're drafting the players that don't think they have a shot at the NFL, right? I like that.
I think you're looking at it in a different point of view. You're looking on behalf of the players. We as the people, we don't care. Yeah, we don't care. We want to be entertained.
I don't care. Maybe what they need to do is get better coaches. Get better coaches so that they are able to run an offense. Because that's what's killing their ratings, is that the offense is just not able to convert.
No, they do some good plays. I mean, Wade Phillips is there, and no, they do have some coaches there. But the problem is again, it's new. It's a new product.
True.
It's a new product, and I'm all about the marketing. Maybe they needed like a show, like getting things ready, like some drama happening. Look at like a type of Hard Knocks type of situation, you know. There's that Netflix show that's for players that I guess needed some help to get a chance in the NFL. I just don't remember what the name is. There was that Amazon show, All or Nothing. Just some shows, something to get you more interested to watch, and so you can get to know these players. If you're not gonna get these big time names, we need to get to know these players because that's how you become fans of teams.
Yeah, of course. But it, like you said, maybe it does need a backstory and follow them, and that way we can kind of get engaged, know the players. But
again, Vince McMahon, he had a really good idea. It's just not.
It didn't work.
It didn't work out for him.
It didn't work out the first time.
No.
So unfortunately, the second time happened, the pandemic. Maybe it would have worked out, but he didn't have the whole nickname going on. And the second time.
Right.
So I'll close it off with this. There's no wonder that the Orlando Guardians are 0-3. All right. So the NFL Combine just happened. What do we think? Do we think it's worth it?
It is worth it for coaches to see at least the ability that the players can do, how fast that they can run. And I mean, if they really want to go all turbo, even though they don't have all the equipment like the helmet and all the shoulder pads, I know that's gonna make you not go as fast if you don't have all that equipment on. And also how far the quarterbacks can throw, how accurate they can throw. At least you can see some of those things. I know it doesn't really affect in the NFL in the situation that, I mean, you're gonna have some players going and tackling you, and some players that don't do well in the combine actually perform really well, and some players that perform really well in the combine don't perform well. But it does help a little, but I'm gonna say like 10-15%, honestly.
I agree with you. I think it's just basically it's a show and tell type of thing. Show off your talent. And it has nothing to do how they're going to do well in the NFL. Basically, like for the quarterbacks, it just shows that you can throw a ball. I was particularly impressed with Anthony Richardson. He threw a nice ball, but again, there's no pressure in his face, so we don't really know how he is or how he will play once he gets in the NFL, but he does seem like a pretty good athlete. Did you see that old lineman that ran the 40 dash or something like that, and he fell? He, grabbed his knee. I don't know if he's okay. Hopefully he is, but maybe the old linemen don't need to be doing that.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. The old linemen, they're becoming more athletic and more athletic each year.
They are.
So yeah, it's unfortunate that happened. I don't mind seeing the old linemen. They do the bench pressing. They I mean, they do some different things here and there. So, I mean, shows how much athletic they are. Sometimes you need a O lineman to be eligible as a wide receiver, so they can go and block the running back or a wide receiver down the field. So I don't mind seeing the O lineman in the combine.
No, I mean, he fell and
that's unfortunate.
He grabbed
it happens.
his knee. I mean, yeah, I guess freak accidents can happen anytime. But yeah, I was impressed with the Anthony Richardson and did you see a lot of people were making fun of Bryce Young? He was wearing some pretty thick shoes to kind of increase his height. He came in as a final 5'10" and 3/4, something like that. So yeah, he's a short quarterback for the NFL. But yeah, they were making fun of him with
let me ask you this. Do you think that short quarterbacks actually do well in the NFL?
The only one that I've been following the NFL for 13, 15, 14 years, Drew Brees is the only one that I can think of. Russell Wilson, but as of late, he hasn't been.
But he was good during his time.
Right.
In Seattle. But yeah, as an NFL fan, I would think that you want your quarterback to be big, strong, and also really not that easy to just tackle, at least be really, really fast and mobile if you're going to be short. But if you ask me, what do I prefer? I would prefer a big guy that can actually see over the old line.
Of course, yeah. At the end of the day, we don't know how they are. The product will present to us when they get on the game. In the NFL, it's a different game. It's a different monster.
Right.
So good luck to these guys. All right, so our final topic of our podcast is Cowboys French tag Pollard instead of Schultz. What do you think? I wish Aaron was here, our Cowboy fan, to kind of put his thoughts in here. Let's go ahead, Andy. What do you think?
I think that was the best decision for them. If they have to choose regarding Schultz or Pollard, it's Pollard all the way. He was the explosive weapon that the Cowboys have. And when they played on the playoffs against the 49ers, once he went down, everybody was like, oh, that's basically over for the Cowboys. If they don't have Pollard anymore, which is their ex-weapon, they're not going to be able to do much. So, yeah, of course, it's a really good thing that they franchise tag Pollard instead of Schultz.
For me maybe he was a bargain to do so, but he just broke his leg.
Yeah.
He just broke his leg, so we don't know what his production is afterwards.
Well, supposedly he's going to be ready for training camp.
Yeah, but he just broke his leg. So I don't know if that was a smart business move.
It seems like they're not too worried about it, and the media is not too worried about it. If it was something like a big deal, don't you think that everybody would be talking about it? Like, really? You're going to franchise tag him and he has a broken leg? And regarding Schultz, he's also been a player that's been injured. And it seems like the Cowboys do a good job on drafting tight ends, because the other tight end that was playing when Schultz is not playing, I believe his name is Ferguson. I'm not really sure, but he was playing pretty well. So I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem for the Cowboys to just either draft another tight end or get a tight end through free agency. So I don't mind that. Running backs, it's harder to find.
Right. I would agree with the move that the Cowboys did, especially because I don't know if you saw the last news that came out that basically McCarthy kind of threw Kellen Moore under the bus, saying that he wanted to run the dang ball more, but Kellen wanted to do more explosive.
Which that's surprising.
Plays and not run the ball. So, I mean, it makes sense now that I remember that. It makes sense that they went ahead and got Pollard over Schultz. Like I said, you can get another tight end. Ferguson wasn't too bad while Schultz was out, but Dak Prescott did rely on Schultz a lot, so we'll see how he adapts.
No, that's actually a very good point. He did rely on Schultz a lot, and he was actually one of the top tight ends in this year's fantasy. So it is going to affect them. But again, Dak Prescott also used the other tight end, so we'll see, honestly. But that's pretty interesting what you just said, that McCarthy wanted to run the ball more and Kellen Moore just used Dak Prescott more as a thrower instead of running the ball and be a little bit more balanced. I mean, you're the head coach. I mean, that actually kind of worries me that you can't actually tell your offensive coordinator to do what you actually want. That's strange. That's just me, though.
That might be a topic for our next episode, of course. Why doesn't McCarthy have full control of the team?
Yeah, that is really weird.
At least over Kellen Moore or the offensive coordinator. Anything else to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to report that Geno Smith actually got extended for the Seattle Seahawks. He got a $105 million contract. And I don't know. What do you think? Is he going to do well with the Seattle Seahawks?
I do think so. He did well last year. He's actually proven himself to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, and I don't see why he can't run it back another year.
Yeah, I agree too. Just continue building that team, and he's going to do well. Probably maybe goes into the playoffs. Since the NFC doesn't have that many like great teams. So, yeah, why not? Good for Geno. This is like his second opportunity.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, he's taking advantage of it.
And it comes in the NFL and not somewhere like the USFL or XFL. So good for him to have that opportunity. Good for, the name just slipped my brain. What's the name of the head coach of the Seattle?
Pete Carroll?
Pete Carroll. Good for Pete Carroll for giving him a shot and recognizing his talent as the New York Jets didn't. There was actually a report that they were thinking of signing Geno Smith or as an emergency after, losing so many quarterbacks that they're probably going to end up losing so many. But
my respect to Pete Carroll. He actually gets the players based on not on money, just on
grit.
Who plays better.
Yeah.
He had the same situation that happened with Flynn and Russell Wilson. The Seattle Seahawks paid a lot of money to Flynn, but Russell Wilson was a rookie and he outplayed him through training camp, and that's who they went, and it worked miraculously for them. So Geno Smith, good for you, and Pete Carroll.
Well, that is it. Do you want to add anything else?
No, I think that covers it. It was a big football day today.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of changes, and I'm sure that there's some things that we didn't discuss, like Allen Robinson, that he can actually get to another team. Calvin Ridley, he's reinstated. So there's a lot of football things happening.
Also, Russell Wilson, it seems like he has a 1-year audition for Sean Payton to be the long-term quarterback for.
Interesting.
Yes. So yeah, it's a lot. We're gonna get a lot of Russell Wilson crap. So and a lot of fake news too. So beware out there. All right. Well, this concludes our podcast. Thank you for those who stuck with us till the end. We really appreciate all of you. Please follow us on our socials. Andy, please share our socials for us.
Yeah, you can look us up in Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok under Football Tailgaters, and you can please comment in our videos. We would like to hear from you, negative or positive. We would love to hear from you.
Yes, awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone.